the land on which Ilorin was built was originally a Baruba land. And that Baruba land stretched from what we now call Barute local government, Kayama local government, down to this side. It became, the Yoruba settled there as a result of Oranya being allocated land or being given land to settle on by the king of Barubas. Oranya settled there, and the Barubas said, from here down, you and your people can settle there. Oranya founded Oyo Ajaka, which is otherwise called Oyo Ile, later Oyo Ogboho, and so on. And from there, his descendants spread eastward and westward. That Oyo Ile, Oyo Ajaka, is north of today's Ilorin. Ilorin is not north of Oyo. Ilorin is south of Oyo. But there is Oyo today, which is south of Ilorin. The land that was given to Oranya, there he settled his people. And his descendants now spread Igboho, Shaki, Kishi, Ikoyi, Ogbomoso, Oshogbo, Ilorin, down to the verge of Ife. All these you can get from the book History of the Yorubas by Reverend Samuel Johnson. That book was written as far back as 1897. But it was jinxed along the line. The manuscripts were lost repeatedly as they were in transit between Nigeria and England, where the book was to be printed. It was not published because of that until Samuel Johnson himself died out of frustration. Then his junior brother, Dr. Johnson, now started picking together pieces of manuscripts, drafts from here and there, and recompiled the book, and eventually succeeded in getting it published in 1921. So although the book was written in 1897, it was actually published in 1921. And this is the book, History of the Yorubas by Reverend Johnson. Now, this book contains in detail this story which I have told, that all the land from Oyole, which is north of present-day Ilorin, to Ilorin, to Ikoyi, to Ogbomoso, to as far as Oshogbo, was Baruba land. So the first settlers in Ilorin were actually Barubas. And the area where they were living is just adjacent to Idiakwe, where the Yorubas came later and lived with them. That place is called Baruba Quarters till today. Remnants of the original settlers are still there. In the same way, the first founder of Shao, where people will say, how can you say Barubas were in Ilorin? No, even Shao here, the first settler in Shao is Baruba. If you go to Ogbomoso, if you read the book History of Ogbomoso by Faraday, it is clearly stated there that one of the first three, the trio that established or founded Ogbomoso, was a Baruba person. In fact, the Ṣọ̀ún of Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ is paternally Baruba. Many chiefs or kings or obas in Yoruba land, Ikoyi ni, Igboho, Kishi. In fact, Iba of Kishi is an abbreviation of Ibaruba of Kishi. And until today, Iba of Kishi attends the Baruba premier festival, annual festival, Gani festival or something, Gani festival in Nikki, which is now in Benin Republic. So the Baruba factor in the Oyo Yoruba's history is very strong. And in fact, there have been so many researches. One of the most celebrated is the one written by Professor RCC Law. You know, people like Professor Akinjogbe and all the rest of them have also done a lot of studies, you know, about the Baruba interwovenness, you know, with the Yorubas. So, Ilorin is not purely a Yoruba community. It is not a purely Fulani community. It is not a purely Hausa community or any other ethnic group. It is a melting pot of so many communities. It's not a Yoruba land. It's originally Baruba land. But the Yorubas are here and they had some prominence. Anyway, that's a different thing altogether. They had some prominence arising from Afonja becoming Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, you know. So that gave publicity to it in terms of the history of the Yorubas, until after a while there was change of administration and the Fulanis took over, you know. And since then till now we have had Fulani rule in Ilorin.